right, so this is the presentation on identifying adjectives and adverbs video. So this is another skill that is kind of trickier than it might seem just from looking at the title. Adjectives might be a little bit more easy to identify just because they modify nouns, and most students can modify or can identify nouns more easily than other parts of speech because they're concrete. They're person, places, or things, although they could be an abstract thing like an idea. So the adjectives work to identify the noun. So they usually give more information to tell us what kind of thing or which one or how many. So in the sentence, 5 students came to the meeting, the adjective 5 tells how many students. In the sentence, the orange cat meowed, the adjective orange tells which one, so which cat, the orange cat. And then in the sentence, the ripest cherries are the sweetest. So ripest tells, well, what kind of cherries? The ripest ones are the sweetest. So basically just giving more information to make sure that that noun is very specific. Adjectives usually come right before the noun they modify, which also makes them easy to identify. So the big gray wolf startled Little Red Riding Hood. So big and gray is adjectives for the wolf, and they come right before it. But adjectives can come after a linking verb. So if you watch the identifying subjects and verbs video, you learned a lot about linking verbs. So anytime you have a linking verb, you have an adjective or adjectives coming right after it. So the wolf is big and gray. So big and gray are adjectives describing the wolf. Okay, so adverbs is where it gets a little more complicated because adverbs modify verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. So anything that's not a noun is being described by an adverb. And adverbs answer a lot more different kinds of questions than adjectives. So they answer how, where, when, to what extent, and under what circumstances. So those are kind of weird questions, but hopefully with the examples, you'll see what I mean by that. So in the example, the runner quickly cleared the hurdle. The adverb is quickly, and it modifies the verb cleared, and it tells how. So how did the runner clear the hurdle quickly? In the sentence, I invited my very best friend over for dinner. The adverb is very, so look out for that one. That one's a common one. And it modifies best, and it tells to what extent. So I invited my best friend over for dinner. So well, what extent is it the best friend to the very best extent, or very best friend? She ate less hungrily than the other children because her stomach hurt. The adverb is less, and it modifies another adverb, hungrily. And it answers the question how. So you can see that if you took the word less out of the sentence, it wouldn't really make a lot of sense. She ate hungrily than the other children because her stomach hurt. So we want to know how hungrily she ate. Well, she didn't eat hungrily at all. She ate less hungrily. So it answers the question, how hungrily. So as you can see, adverbs, unlike sort of common knowledge, I guess, don't always end in ly. In fact, they frequently do not end in ly. So don't assume that just because you identified all the ly words in a sentence that you've identified all the adverbs. So let's kind of try this in action. We're going to look at a couple sentences and kind of work through identifying the adjectives and the adverbs. And the tip I gave was just to start with adjectives since they're a little easier to identify, and then to go on from there. So in the sentence, my sister finished her homework more quickly than I did. So remember, adjectives come before the nouns. So we have the noun sister, and we have the word my right in front of it. And my sister, so my is an adjective. It's saying which one? Well, which sister? It's my sister. And my sister finished her homework. So homework, once again, is a noun, and her is an adjective, which says which homework. So it's her homework. She didn't do someone else's homework. She did her homework. And then we have the verb finished. And we see that the word finished, the verb finish, is being modified by the words more quickly. So how did she finish her homework? She finished it more quickly than I did. So those are both adverbs describing how she finished her homework. So in the next sentence, I was very disappointed when I finished last in the county finals. So here we see we have a linking verb. All right, so I was disappointed. So the adjective disappointed is describing the subject, me. And then we have the noun finals. And what kinds of finals were they? Were they state finals? Were they local finals? They were county finals. So that says which one, which kind of finals. Okay, so then we see that very. So I said to look out for very. That comes up a lot. Very is an adverb modifying the adjective disappointed. So how disappointed? Very disappointed. And then how did I finish? I finished last. So last is another adverb describing how the subject finished. Finally, the most attentive students will likely perform best on the exam. So we have the subject students, and right before it is attentive. So the students are attentive, so it describes them. It's an adjective. And right before that is most. So we have the adverb most describing the adjective attentive. So how attentive are they? They're the most attentive students. And we have the verb perform. So they will likely perform. So how will they perform? They'll likely perform, and they'll perform best. So both likely and best are giving more information about how the students are going to perform. Okay, so hopefully that helped you out and you can try the activity. Once again, you will be given a hard copy worksheet of this activity.